Hey, what's up, everybody? I hope you're all doing well tonight. So, I apologize for the crappy quality of this video tonight. I'm just using my shitty laptop webcam video camera because I just decided to make this video off the cuff, no real planning or anything like that. So really quick, I just wanted to talk about something I recently did, and that thing is I recently, on June 4th, I had LASIK eye surgery. Yeah, I went through with it, and I just wanted to talk about, how the first 48 hours have been since I had the procedure. So, Friday, June 4th, I have the procedure, and right before the procedure, I was filling out the consent forms at home and, reading through all the potential negative side effects, everything ranging from dry eyes to glaucoma to, corneal neuropathy, which, as I understand it, is basically intractable pain. There was a moment there where I really did wonder if this was for me. Um, because these are our eyes. You really don't want to ruin your eyes because you only get two of them. But I decided to go through with it anyway, and I'm really glad I did. So I arrive at the facility at 1 o'clock and check in, and after washing your hands and taking a few other COVID-related precautions, what they had me do first was take they gave me a little styrofoam cup that contained pills of ibuprofen and Tylenol PM. And so I took those. And the Tylenol PM hit me pretty quickly. I hadn't eaten much that day. So I was still in the waiting room when it hit me. And so I was sitting there, kind of woozy, but, I was still really excited. And, they bring me into, the operating room, and the procedure itself is very short. Unfortunately, it was not painless like I've been told. I've heard from other people that it's painless. It did hurt some, but it wasn't too bad for the benefits I got. It was definitely worth it. Um, so yeah, they did a few different things. They used a few different machines. They used some weird machine that I think maybe was meant to keep your eye in place because you just don't want it moving around while they're shooting lasers into it. So yeah, they gave me these numbing drops that for a short time actually caused your eyesight to black out, for maybe a minute or two. And it was a little intimidating, because like I said, it's your eyes, so you really don't want someone screwing those up. But at the same time, it was a pretty interesting process. It wasn't quite what I expected, and like I said, it hurt a little, but it wasn't too bad. And so afterwards, I get done with the procedure, and they gave me a pair of goggles and then a pair of sunglasses to put over the goggles, and they send me home. And my driver, who that day was my mother, she was nice enough to pick me up from the surgery. She drove me home, and on the way home, my eyes were extremely sensitive to light, even with the sunglasses and goggles. When I was sitting in the front seat, some light reflected off of one of the metal parts of her vehicle, and I looked at it for just a split second, and it was completely unbearable. It was absolutely brutal to look at. So I get home, and the first thing they want you to do when you get home is take a nap that lasts several hours. I have trouble with naps, so I wasn't able to get more than about, I'd say about 20 minutes worth of sleep. But it was soothing to sit in the dark for a couple hours at least. So I got home, it was, what was it? It was about 3 o'clock, I would say. And I come back upstairs at about 6:30, and while I am having difficulty reading anything that's put right in front of me, my close vision was temporarily useless because I think they dilated my eyes and did a couple other things. I noticed after just those few hours, looking off in the distance, looking at a tree line that is, maybe 1,000 or so feet from my house, I noticed that I was already seeing distance better. I was seeing stuff in the distance better. It was already becoming clearer slowly, and it had only been a few hours since the procedure. Now, they prescribed me a few items. They sent me home with lubricating eye drops, that's these, antibiotic eye drops, and a nutritional supplement that called Hydro Eye that is supposed to help you produce tears, because for at least the first few weeks after surgery, it's very common for people to end up with dry eye. And so I go to bed that night. You have to sleep and shower with goggles for a week to protect yourself from infection. So I sleep in goggles, which, not the most fun thing, but oh well. And I wake up the next morning and I come upstairs and wow, my whole world just lit up. I could see so far. I don't think I've seen this well since I was a child. I get tested tomorrow when I go for my follow-up, but I'm guessing I have at least 20/20 vision, if not better. So, here, come on, buddy. Sorry, buddy. That's just my cat. So, I decided to go for a walk, and walking is really fascinating as well. Just looking around, I can see everything, and it's great. So, yeah, the night before, my right eye had actually been recovering a bit quicker than my left eye, but by Saturday morning, my left eye was actually doing better, and as of right now, my left eye is a bit more sharp than my right eye. I'm hoping they kind of equal out over time, but yeah, put together, I could see very well, better than I have in a long, long time. Alright, buddy, you can join. So, yeah, where was I? Yeah, so now it's Sunday night, and, I think things are, if anything, even a little better today. And so, yeah, in terms of side effects so far, my eyes are a little dry, a little scratchy, nothing terrible. It's very well handled by the lubricating eye drops I just showed you. And yeah, sometimes I think maybe I get a little protein buildup on the flap or something, and I take a paper towel or tissue and I can just dab it away. Yeah, you're not supposed to touch your eyes with your fingers for, it was either a week or a month. So yeah, I have to be really careful about that. But the discomfort is very minor. It's far outweighed by the excitement and just awe I feel after undergoing this procedure. And so what else was there to talk about? I'm able to drive. I did test my night vision as well tonight with driving, because I wanted to see if I had any glare, halo, or starburst effect, because those are fairly common with this procedure, especially during the first few weeks of recovery. And I did have some, I guess you'd call it glare and some starburst effect with lights, but it's not enough to affect my driving in any way. I can still clearly see stop signs. I can still clearly see if a light is red, green, yellow. I can still see cars around me with ease. And so I'm not really upset about that. Even if that doesn't really get better, it's still going to be totally worth it. So yeah, I really look forward to seeing tomorrow just how how sharp my vision is now. Yeah, they'll test it. And yeah, I guess one other aspect I could talk about quickly is the price, because people see a lot of advertisements for LASIK where they say as low as $300 an eye, $500 an eye. That's a bunch of crap. Unless you're one of the rare individuals who has some sort of medical condition relating to your cornea, you are not going to have your insurance cover much, if any, of the cost for this procedure. So my total cost came out to $4,417.30. Now that includes the procedure, my consultation beforehand, my follow-up procedures, and any touch-ups and the medications. So, yeah, I've heard of other people finding uh, doctors who will perform the surgery for cheaper, but my thought about that is when it comes to your eyes, you don't want to go cheap. You don't want to find the cheapest option. You want to find the most experienced, credentialed surgeon, and that's what I did. I found a surgeon who has performed over 85,000 of these procedures. He's been doing this procedure since it was approved by the FDA, and I believe he helped create one of the medical eye drops many years ago. He was a co-creator with one of those products. So yeah, he's been a doctor for 40 plus years, and I think I definitely made the right choice there. You're When it comes to having LASIK, you're gonna pay a couple grand no matter what. So you might as well just go all out and find the best surgeon you possibly can. So for in terms of recovery, I have to take a week off of any intense exercise. So for right now, I'm taking a short break from any weightlifting, running, or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu because I'm a practitioner of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I will return to that in about 9 days. I'm gonna give it a little extra time just to be safe, and I think my Jiu-Jitsu game is going to be improved because I when I go to practice, before I wore glasses, so obviously you'd have to put those away because you can't really do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu wearing glasses. But, and that when I'd have to watch demonstrations by my coach or, what have you, I would have to make sure I stood really close, kind of like almost stood over them, open my eyes, make sure I can see. But no more of that. I will be able to see demonstrations and all that, no problem. And man, I am just psyched about this. So, yeah. In conclusion, if you're somebody who's borderline about, whether or not you want to have this procedure, if you have the funds available, I say go for it. As long as you pick a very credentialed doctor. You know, they do offer financing options, although I've heard interest rates are high. I was in a position where I'm fortunate enough that I was able to just pay all of the money up front, all $4,417. So, I'm grateful for that. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to, having my eyes heal up and see how good things get. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching and have a good night.